Hi, I'm Michael Wan, your host for Michael Wan's Op-Ed Live, and this is our Los Angeles School Board President, Monica Garcia, who is also running for LA Council District 14. Our show, Op-Ed Live, is not about left or right, it's about right or wrong. Hi, Monica. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous.
How is your campaign going?
We are excited. There's a lot of energy. Just today on the way over, one of my neighbors stopped me, invited me to his living room, said, let's talk about how to make the world better. He's very concerned that there's pain in the community. And he said, if you're running, I want to help you, but I want to make sure that people are at the center of this campaign.
Okay. So our viewers would like to know what motivated you to run for CD14.
Thank you. So, you know, I love the opportunity to represent people and to solve problems. I love as a counselor, when I started helping young people figure out their road to graduation, it was about understanding who they are, what they want, and building the road to get there. So on LAUSD, we came here to help more children graduate from high school, to help people understand that all kids want to and all kids can. We just had to change the system to build the opportunities for our children and families. So today, our seniors graduating in 2019 are the children who started school when and kindergarten when I got onto the school board. Wow. So over that time, we've built schools, we have named schools, we have helped community come together in support of children in schools. We have struggled because we are not yet where we want to be, but mostly we have been successful at inspiring people to come together, recognize that they matter, and that they can change the system to serve them better. In that energy, we think we started with schools, but our movement has to go to City Hall to help address some of the issues that we are facing. We, again, are a campaign that believes in social, economic, educational justice. We believe that our community has solutions to address its issues. And we believe that it's going to take some time, but building trust, hard work, community, there's a lot of strength in Council District 14. There's a lot of my family got to Boyle Heights in 1955. My parents are immigrants from Mexico, and they met at Stevenson Middle School. And just like my family, so many families, right, are emerging and wanting to participate in government, in community, in services. We have places like Eagle Rock, Highland Park, downtown, places that are thriving. Families who want to make sure their kids are safe. Families who want to make sure their businesses can be successful. LA City absolutely impacts the planet, right? And I think Council District 14 is a place that has, just like the big city of LA, we have a lot of strengths, we have a lot of needs, and we have people who want to get involved and address the issues of our community.
And why do you believe that the constituents should vote for you over other candidates?
So we are going to go out. We're going to be the hardest working campaign. We are going to be about the people of the 14th. We have invested in families for over 2 decades through schools. And now that those children are graduating and getting into the workforce, we want to make sure that they continue to be part of the community. Imagine in Los Angeles where every child feels connected to the city and wants to contribute its resource. We're going to go out and talk to our neighbors, our voters, our residents, and tell them that we want to make sure that they know who we are. We make sure they know we trust them. CD14 can build its own solutions and has to be a partner with government, period. Government doesn't have all the answers, right? So when we think about community wellness, we think about having safety, having economic development, addressing issues like homelessness and housing, because we can't be a place that people can't afford to live. We can't be a place that is instead of success for all, only success for some. So we have real issues. We have emerging communities, and we have very strong communities. But we have to make sure that we have all voices at the table, we have to make sure that we know we all matter, and we have to make sure that people get involved. So we promise to stay and deal with the issues. I don't want any other job except councilwoman of the 14th. I'm excited that I could serve the people that I've been in relationship with over time. LA Unified, my board district too, has represented Boyle Heights, downtown, a piece of El Sereno, a piece of some of Highland Park. But what I know is communities care, communities want to prosper, and communities want people they can trust and who are willing to serve them.
Got it. So what do you think about the homelessness issue? It's becoming more serious as time goes by, and especially the Bridge Home Project, as you might already know, Council President Herb Weston with Mayor Garcia has brought this project. Do you support it, or what is your thought on that?
So LA Unified has 17,000 homeless children, and what we have learned is that we need to, as a system, we need to understand who they are. We need to understand how to support them. So much of our, I'm also interested in making sure that we can invest and reduce the number of people who become homeless, right? So we have to be able to see the entire issue. It is not all the same. I think everybody is impacted by homelessness. And I think the city and the county have done a lot of work to begin to address the issue, and we are learning more about it, right? So the first part is to help fewer people get into homelessness. And we have seen this in my district. Families who used to have their own home, then families who used to share homes, then families who had to leave LA because they just couldn't afford this. We also know that homelessness involves mental illness. It involves people who have tried many efforts and just haven't gotten to wellness yet. It also really impacts people who drive by every day and feel bad, right? We don't want to be the place where people are on the streets without help. And so this is very complicated. There's not one answer, but we have to continue to work with places like United Way, right, that brings people together. I think a lot of the city leadership has paid attention in ways that matter. And it is something where we have to share in the solution building. It can't be just downtown. It can't be, we can't make agreements that would negatively impact downtown and not just everywhere else. But I gotta tell you, when I'm driving in Boyle Heights, when I'm driving in El Sereno, and even other parts, we see people on the streets, and what that tells us is government has to work with the private sector, has to work with the public sector to create long-term solutions, right? We have to figure out a way to make space affordable. We have to figure out how to make services more accessible. And we absolutely have to deal with the today and deal with the long term.
I got it. So CD14 has been on the news, as you might already know. Current Councilman Jose Huizar, there has been some alleged corruption scandal going on. What is your thought on this? This is about a little bit pay-to-play scandal, could be. What is your thought on this in general? I know that it's an ongoing investigation, so it's sensitive for you to comment on it, but just a general thought on it.
So I can just tell you that I've known the councilman and his wife for more than 25 years. I know a lot of the good work that they have done. In terms of the investigation, it is a very sad situation. I know, like others, it is troubling, and we will let that go where it will. I'm going to be talking to the people of CD14 about how important it is for the public to be involved in government, how important it is for all of us to follow the public disclosures and follow the rules around being in office. I think it's so important for our young kids, for our families, anyone in elected office. We have a responsibility, and I'm going to talk to the public about my willingness to be clear about how we do business and to be clear about following the rules to get elected.
Yeah. What are the most pressing issues in CD14 other than homelessness?
So overall, it is this idea around housing is very important, right? We have very special space on the east side. Boyle Heights is a very important community with different generations of people, of cultures, and there's a fear around having cost of living that just doesn't let people live there. So when people are feeling under attack, that's a feeling of an absence of safety, right? So this is when we think about community wellness, we have to build a city, a district where there's space for all of us. I think the other piece is as more of our children are graduating, as people are going to college, they want to make sure they have an opportunity to serve in whatever way they can, but to still participate to live in our cities, right? So we have to figure out how the jobs are available for folks, how families can really live, and I think public safety is one of the other pieces. When people are engaged, we know all communities do better. So the big idea for us is to make sure that we have public safety, that we have economic development, that we have environmental justice, because we want to make sure that we continue to move towards sustainability. And overall, I think people very much want to know that they matter, right?
You're right. So I want to talk about your life. Did you live in Southern California all your life? Can you talk about your childhood?
So I'm 50 years old. Except for college, when I went to UC Berkeley, I've lived in
Stanford.
I've lived in
Northern California.
Yes, Berkeley's in Northern California. I lived there for the 5 years that I was at Cal. Loved college. I'm a first-generation college goer. I was born in unincorporated East LA and lived in Montebello for a little bit. And then I've lived in the Rose Hills area of El Sereno. I think of myself as a daughter of the East Side. I benefited from the fight for access to schools and work. I think my parents met in Boyle Heights. My father worked at a furniture manufacturing company, Sandberg, in the city of Vernon. My mom dedicated herself to raising 5 children and then worked at a pharmacy there in Boyle Heights and also as a teller. But family is very important to me. I have an extended family that very much has been a part of my own development. I've also had friends that I've met through school. I have friends from first grade. I have friends from high school, friends from college. The people we surround ourselves very much add to our lives. I'm a social worker by training. I graduated from USC with a master's in social work. And what I learned from my time at Berkeley is that a place like Cal needed to learn about people like me, right? We have ideas about what it is to be a woman, what it is to be a daughter of immigrants, what it is to be a child from East Los Angeles. And in that same space, when I came to LA Unified and I heard things like kids don't want to and kids can't, I thought LA Unified needs to learn about our families and our communities, because especially if you're a child of low-income family, especially if you're a child first-generation college goer, more than anything, you want to build the skills so that you can participate and have options in the world. We absolutely know how to interrupt poverty. We absolutely know how to help people get involved. And I think it's really been important that my general optimistic, hardworking, community values perspective helped bring people together to make change at LA Unified. So we used to be a district that had 50% graduation. We had 75,000 suspensions. Today, suspensions are lower than they've ever been, and largely because we changed the rules around dealing with challenges, right? Eliminating willful defiance as a cause for suspensions was really life-changing for people in the classrooms, in the community, and it focused on helping young people learn about respect for themselves and respect for each other. I think the other piece about graduation is making sure that the district was able to commit to every family. Because when people, I know when I went to Korea, I learned
you said you went to Korea twice, right?
82% of the people in Korea had a 4-year degree.
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, this was, we were in Seoul. But so I have had the chance as a school board member to visit Korea twice, to visit China, to visit Japan, to visit Israel, and everywhere there was such a value on education, right?
A little bit too much, I would say. But,
that was a conversation about that.
Too
but
much.
we are moving towards 80% graduation in LA Unified.
Are we? Oh, okay, that's great. That's great.
It is. And largely because we have to understand, again, government has to be a partner with our community. I remember when the superintendent from Korea came to visit us, and we were sharing that, especially for immigrant families, education is a pathway to not just learning another culture, another language, but it's a pathway of really investing skills and talents.
I agree, especially for immigrants. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with
you know, when we built the ambassador project over at the RFK community schools, right on Wilshire, I remember the first day of school, Ambassador School of Global Education, the children said hello in 28 languages.
Wow.
And the teacher got up there and said, these are not world languages, these are our home languages. And so in Los Angeles, I see great strength that the world must learn from, right? Because we are a multicultural, multilingual, multi-ethnic place, and we have to make sure that all of our communities are seen and are a part of the Los Angeles that we built.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. So can you talk about your accomplishments when you were at LAUSD? You've been the president for a while, and then you were away from the presidency, and then you came back as president, right?
Yes.
Altogether in total, like
8 years.
8 years, right? So isn't it one of the longest tenures
Yes,
in
we've made
LAUSD,
history.
right?
We've made history being the president during challenge times, but mostly, you know, it's so special to be a part of learning and families and solution building. I have been on the board now for 13 years. 8 of those I've gotten to be the president, and we get elected once a year by our colleagues. And I've been on the Board of Education where there have been differences of opinion. We don't agree. We don't see the challenges the same way. But we have worked to make sure this system addresses the needs of students and builds success for all in a way that it hadn't. So I'm proud that there's more graduation. I'm proud that in District 2, we have 35 new schools. District-wide, we have 131 new schools. That building project brought us 355,000 jobs to this area. We have built parks. We have built places for recreation and community space through our school project. I'm also proud that when we have named schools, whether it was Edward Roybal Learning Center or Esteban Torres High School, the giants of the Latino community, we have also acknowledged the giants of other communities. So we have Charles Kim Elementary, we have Young Oak Kim,
Sammy Lee.
And Sammy Lee, yes. And so our building program has helped us acknowledge the various communities that have been part of Los Angeles. It helped us acknowledge that the voters want to see LA Unified be successful, but they also want to see LA Unified hold itself accountable. And so I embrace all the folks who say we have to do more and we have to do better. I agree with them, right? I always think, is this good enough for my kid? So I'm hopeful that my experience on the school board, where I have worked in District 2 for 18 years, 13 as a board member, 4.5 as a chief of staff. But the relationships with the community, the relationships with our schools and our civic alliances, our civic leaders, our grassroots, the relationship over time has been about making populations visible and solving challenges together. So I offer my services, my experience, my love for people, for CD14, for the opportunities that exist. I offer that for service, in service of the challenges that we face today. Right?
Is LAUSD, the school district, the second largest school district in the United States?
We are the second largest in the United States. We are the largest with an elected school board.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yes. And in LA Unified, you know, we do great things every single day, and we have places that we have yet to experience success. So both things are true. When I worked for the county of LA, I worked for Supervisor Molina as her justice deputy, and then I worked for the probation department for 2 years. And what I saw across the board is that the public sector is most successful when it works together. So LA County, LA City, and LA Unified really did work together to reduce the children going into the probation system by creating community alternatives and by the systems talking to each other. I'm very proud of being a social worker where we learn that cross-jurisdictional solutions come by people coming together, learning about what each other can do, and being strategic about creating a path for action. People want to see action in our neighborhoods, right?
That's true. So if we look at CD14, there's also another opponent who has a big name, you know, other than you. There, Kevin De Leon, the former pro tem for California State. So your thoughts about him as a candidate and your competition with him?
So I have worked collaboratively with Senator De Leon. I have.
So you know him. You have
very much appreciated his leadership in our state, and I think it's important for the people of CD14 to have choices, and I am proud that they have multiple good choices. I am running for the council district seat. I am super excited about the possibility of making history, being the first woman to hold that position. But more important than that, I am interested in continuing the movement of work and community building that we started at LA Unified and moving that to the city. So I'm committed over time. I'm committed to work hard every single day. And I'm committed to support and respect the choice of the people of the 14th.
So LAUSD has been also in the headlines a couple months ago because of the strike. Can you talk about the process? Seems like the teachers union had some issues with the wages and also class size. Can you talk about it?
Sure, I think there's a movement across the country. There's a movement across the country demanding more support and respect for teachers and schools. And I think what's different here in California, we're the blue of the blue. We are a state that has been at the forefront of a lot of movements, environment, immigration, many things. We have been at the bottom in the support for education. So we used to be 49th in the nation in per pupil spending when we had the great collapse. Today we're 44th in the nation in per pupil spending. Still not good at all. That's right. And so what we have shown is with the dollars that we do have, you have seen improvement inside the system. When we offered our teachers, like every other bargaining unit at the district, a 6% raise with investments in different positions, that was unsatisfactory for them. And so, yes, we had a tremendous show of support for investment in schools and teachers over a 7-day work stoppage. I'm really proud that in Los Angeles we had heroes on the outside and heroes on the inside. So LA Unified, the people who came to work and held the schools open, much like our Virgil Middle School, right? Virgil had 800 kids show up to school, where other schools had, like Ivanhoe, had 8 kids show up to school. So our kids, who are 91% kids of color and 80% kids of free and reduced lunch, needed schools to be open so that they can have a meal, so that they can come and be safe, and so they can be, they can have an opportunity to learn. I think the good news for LA is we were able to, with the mayor's help, Mayor Garcia was very helpful convening both sides, but we decided that we were stronger together. We were decided that what the teachers accepted as a plan going forward, it did include more positions. It did include reduction in class size. These are things that the district had been willing to negotiate with them all along, but they were certainly super successful in having a tremendous outpouring of public support to stand with teachers, to stand with schools, to stand with students. And now the school board has a tax measure for June 4th. If we can turn in the support for that effort into really asking the voters to support 16 cents per square foot, that will bring the district in the neighborhood of $500 million for 12 years. That's a June 4th election. We can come back and talk about
very
a
technical.
different show. But what is important is that we heard loud and clear, our employees want more support, and they want to be able to support more of our children. Governor Newsom, our state superintendent of public instruction, Tony Thurman, they were paying attention. They want to be helpful. We've already seen the state of California, through the governor's proposal, offer more support for early education. We want to see more support for early education and special education. In LA, we've been doing the right thing by students, like full-day kindergarten, like early ed and special ed. We know we can serve more kids better with greater investment. And and we want to join together with all of labor, with all the parents, with all our business partners and civic leadership to say, yes, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's support the schools and continue to accelerate achievement. What people want more than anything from any community in LA Unified, they want their kid to be safe, supported, and successful.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think we were all glad that it was settled somehow, and the kids are back to school.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We are all glad, and we have 12 weeks to go before the voters choose yes or no on June 4th.
Okay, got it. What is your campaign slogan, and how can your supporters come out and help your campaign? And now we are like D-minus 1 year right now.
That's
363 days. So.
363 days. So one, I love that people are responding to our involvement in this race. I love that people are asking themselves, what is this about? When will it be? How will we get involved? Our slogan, we started with East Side Strong, but because we are the greater city of LA, but I know downtown and Highland Park and Eagle Rock, I think we are saying that we are the movement to build community wellness. We are about action now, and we are about making sure that when the people vote for me, they're voting for someone who wants to be their council person, wants to stay in this job, do the best they can, build support over time, and really get something done for the people of the 14th.
So any last words you want to give to our viewers and our readers?
I just want to say, 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
감사합니다. I am so excited that we have worked together for more than a decade. I'm so excited that through our energy and support and hard work, we have built community where people matter, students are doing better. I want to invite this movement to keep going and to continue through this campaign to get us to City Hall, where we will continue to be the campaign of community, hard work, and excellence.
Thank you very much, Monica, for stopping by, and good luck on your campaign.
Thank you all. I appreciate the time, and we'll stay in touch.
Okay. Well, that's our show for today. Our show is not about left or right. It's about right or wrong. To stay up to date with our latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.
And Andrew told me to talk about